at crisis through a different lens. Most people, when they're in a type of crisis situation, which can be something like an exam if you're in school, a job interview, meeting a potential prospect in your business that could dramatically change the future of your business. There's two types of people. There's the person that rises to the occasion and does extraordinary well because of the pressure and knocks it out of the park. And then there's the other person that crumbles under the pressure when normally in any other situation they're absolutely calm, confident, and collected. But because of the pressure, they crumble. And whatever the reasons may be that either of these things happen, the author talks about, and the author's name is Maxwell Maltz, the author calls you to look at crisis in a different way. Look at it in the way that the exceller looks at things. The exceller that, apart from high stakes situations, does really poorly at other things. But just in this crisis situation, to look at it as your time to shine. You feel the excitement. You feel the nerves coming up, and you have a choice. You have a choice to cower in front of it, or to see it to use it as fuel, and a feeling of like, oh my God, like my life's about to change. I'm about to do something exciting. The core feeling, without attaching emotion or meaning to it, is excitement, right? If you feel scared, you're excited. If you feel hopeful and optimistic and like your engines are revving up in a positive way, you're still excited. The core feeling and energy is excitement. What matters is how you use this excitement. Okay? Too many people feel this excitement and they relate it to fear because perhaps sometime in the past, when they were faced with a similar situation, a similar crisis, they were thrown a little bit too early. They hadn't had enough practice to build the confidence that would allow them to think clearly and broadly and be flexible in the situation of crisis. Because they were pushed in too early, their fight or flight response was kicked in at 1,000%, right? That's all they could think about is, I have to survive. And when we think like that as humans, our perspective, it narrows, and we're not able to think clearly, and we don't think broadly. We're not flexible. We're not creative. Our original way of surviving is fixed, and then we try to use that same method, that same way of surviving in any other crisis situation that brings up that feeling of fear in us, right? And so he calls us to not try to stifle away or to push away that feeling of excitement, but just attach a new meaning to it and to see it for what it is, which is just core emotional energy, excitement, which is there to push you to excel at whatever it is you're already doing. It's not there to make meaning out of things, but there to supply a new and enriching fire to your discipline, to your already existing actions. So I hope that made sense. I will leave it at that. If you made it this far, please give the video a like and subscribe if you want to see more like this. And I will see you guys in the next video.